NBA free agency continues to stay hot as we enter day 4. I am your host, Harrison Graham from Chat Sports. Let's talk about the New York Knicks as they extend Julius Randle on a 4-year contract worth $117 million. They keep their number one option from last year for the foreseeable future. He had one more year left on his deal worth $23 million, so you add all that up, the next 5 years worth $140 million for Randle to stay in the Big Apple. He will get a player option on the final year of that deal in the 2025-2026 season, but Julius Randle staying in New York, and who saw this coming even just a couple of years ago that he would get money like this? But he has really improved his game. Certainly a well-deserved contract for Julius Randle as the New York Knicks are able to lock up their long-term contract. He had a career year last year. He was outstanding. We'll talk about what his fit is moving forward, but the Knicks had to commit to Julius Randle. They had to keep this guy on board as he really took on that leadership role as well as that being that go-to scorer also. So I think that that's going to be a very good thing for the Knicks moving forward to have Julius Randle on board. Grade the Randle extension, scale it from 0 to 100. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. 0 meaning you think this sucks and Julius is a stiff because he played bad in the playoffs. 100 being it's the best player in the NBA. Let me know what you guys think on this one. I'm going to give it an 85. This is a solid B plus grade. Listen, you can't just let 24-point scorers go. And to get him extended before the year, I think that's deserved. I think that'll let him play more loose, more free. He can flush that playoff series against the Hawks behind, and we can see what the Knicks can do in year 2 of Tom Thibodeau this upcoming season, because I think last year was certainly a very good first step for the New York Knicks. You kind of look at his numbers for this past season here. Randle was fantastic. 24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. We can go ahead and show his stats here, Jeremy, when it comes to Julius Randle and how he played with the Knicks this past season. But he was outstanding when he averaged 24, 10, and 6. This was legitimately a second-tier MVP candidate. He was awesome last year. And yeah, he kind of folded in the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. But Julius Randle is a player to keep for the foreseeable future. Hey, Knicks fans, go subscribe. Chatsports.com/KnicksTV. We launched our Knicks channel about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Can't remember. It's a brand new channel. And we're closing in on 1,000 subscribers already. Let's get there as soon as possible. If you're watching on our Knicks channel, just hit that big red button and subscribe. Go to the other card here, Jeremy. This one's got bad info on it. Chatsports.com/KnicksTV. Go ahead and hit that big red button. So the Knicks keep Randle for the foreseeable future, and they've had a pretty good offseason overall under Tom Thibodeau's leadership. Leon Rose has done a great job in this front office, and keeping Randle beyond this season kind of answers those questions of whether or not they were going to commit to him. They obviously are. I mentioned, averaged a double-double last year, had 6 assists as well as he continues to improve his career. I think the best part of development in his game is now that he is a 41% three-point shooter. This guy could not shoot when he entered the league a couple of years ago. Now he can. He can absolutely stretch the floor. He can ISO. He can pull up. He's a really nice shooter, and he's a complete offensive player. Now he's just got to build on that after a strong year. And you look at this lineup now. You get Kemba Walker once that becomes finalized as your point guard. Evan Fournier, who's been balling out for France in the Olympics. You sign him. R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. You brought back Derrick Rose and Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel. You have Emmanuel Quickly, Taj Gibson. This is a deep roster right now. Sure, they don't have number one alpha male superstars, but they have a lot of B and C line players, and depth can take you a long way in the NBA. We'll just have to wait and see if a guy like Julius Randle can be that true number one, especially come playoff time. Will the Knicks win a playoff series this year? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Get your votes in down in the comment section. Will the New York Knicks win a playoff series this upcoming season? Go ahead and let me know what you guys think. So we mentioned some of these other moves that they've pulled off. Alec Burks, 3 years, $30 million. Nerlens Noel, 3 years, $32 million. Couple of guys who can start or come off the bench. Evan Fournier will absolutely start, I believe. 4 years, $78 million. Hefty price, but a really good shooter. Derrick Rose, 3 years, $43 million. I think he'll be your sixth man. You add Kemba Walker once that's finalized. Taj Gibson's an energetic big off the bench, and I just like how this roster shakes out. I think this will be your starting five, as we mentioned earlier. Can a guy like Kevin Knox get back into the mix this past season? This has been a good summer. This has been a good summer for the Knicks. Sure, you would have, had jumped and popped champagne if you could have traded for Damian Lillard, but this is good work. This is a good offseason. I think the Knicks will mostly be done at this point. Maybe they add one more bench piece, try and get another shooter as this team continues to improve its shooting, which was an issue in the playoffs this past year. But I think you have to be pleased. Guys, the Knicks didn't make the playoffs for 8 years. 4 seed last year. I think this roster is better right now than it was a year ago. So that is a very good sign for all of you Knicks fans last year. And it's a long time coming because prior to last season, my goodness, it was rough. 31 wins, 29 wins, 17 wins, 21 wins. And then last year, finally, you break out under Tom Thibodeau's leadership, 41-31 record. We'll get back to an 82-game schedule this year after a couple of weird seasons with the COVID-19 virus. Should be a normal season next year. Maybe this can be a team that pushes for 45 or 50 wins. I wouldn't completely rule that out as a possibility. Predict the Knicks record this upcoming season. I'm thinking like 44-38, 45-37, maybe 46-36. I think 45 wins is what you should be shooting for if you're the New York Knicks. If you get to 45, you're probably in that 5-seed range once again this upcoming year. So go ahead and predict the Knicks record this year. Hey, if you want to talk some hoops, talk some football as well, you can follow me on Twitter at HGramNFL. Go ahead and give me a follow over there. I'm always keeping up with the latest going on in the NFL, the NBA, college football, whatever it is, at HGramNFL. So go ahead and give me a follow. So the Knicks extend Julius Randle on a 5-year contract up to $140 million, including this year. The extension's 4 years, $117, but you count his current year, the 21-22 season, which is coming up this fall. And hey, it's a good day to be a New York Knicks fan. Maybe some of you guys are skeptical, but I really like this signing. Speaking of free agency, hey, join us live on our main Chat Sports channel, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. Day 4 of NBA free agency set to get underway. I'll be live at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central Time, breaking down every move that continues to happen in NBA free agency. Speaking of NBA free agency, more moves happened overnight. Danny Green going back to the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year, $20 million contract. I think this was a good signing for Philadelphia. This was a much-needed depth piece as the Sixers had been quiet up to this point in free agency. 3-and-D player, can still defend well, can shoot the ball, space the floor. I think they really missed him in that playoff series against the Atlanta Hawks. It's a good move. It's not a flashy move, but certainly a much-needed one as they get one of their core pieces back. Some of the moves dating back to yesterday, some of the more recent ones, John Collins, 5 years, $125 million to the Atlanta Hawks. Kemba Walker, another player the Knicks brought on board. Tony Bradley to the Bulls. Enes Kanter to the Celtics. Victor Oladipo back to Miami on a 1-year deal. Looks like it's going to be for the vet minimum. Terrence Davis to the Kings. Spencer Dinwiddie happened late yesterday. He's going to Washington, 3 years, $62 million. That helped facilitate the Russell Westbrook trade. 5 teams getting involved. Saban Lee to the Detroit Pistons on a 3-year deal. And then some of the deals that happened later last night and, of course, on to this morning. Raul Neto back to the Washington Wizards. Danny Green to the Sixers, 2 years and $20 million. And then Julius Randle, 4 years, $117 million as we get day 4 of NBA free agency underway. Who is the best team in the NBA right now? We've gone through the draft. Most of the big names are gone in free agency outside of Kawhi Leonard. So who's the best team right now? That could certainly change at any moment based on a move that could happen. Let me know what you guys think and join us at 4 o'clock Eastern here on Chat Sports.